All right, now tonight our friends from the Rochester Museum and Science Center are here to talk to us about the ornate horned frog. So we have George and Anna, and who have you brought along?
I've brought one of our ornate horned frogs for you today.
Wow. Great, tell us a little bit about him.
Yes, this actually is a female in this case. You can find these animals down in the southeast region of South America.
Wow.
Typically hopping along forest floors, occasionally out in the grasslands as well.
So they look well camouflaged for that kind of environment.
Extremely well camouflaged animal. You can see all that brown and green on the back. They're ambush predators, so they're going to burrow in, wait for something to stumble across them, and grab it.
And what kind of somethings would they be going after?
Typical frog things, so stuff like insects as well as larger prey items. They'll take down small mammals, small birds, even other amphibians. This is a frog that loves to eat other frogs.
Oh. And now you said that it's a frog, but it tends to live on the forest floor. Tell us a little bit the difference between frogs and toads.
Typically, when you're talking about toads, you're talking about one group of animals. When people say toad, they think of these warty animals. So there's a technical group that is toads, that's Bufonidae. True frogs are typically much smoother animals.
All right, but they're both amphibians.
Correct.
All right.
What's an amphibian?
Amphibian is a very basal group of animals, so they breathe through their skin. They do not have any kind of scales or anything like that that you think of with reptiles. Absorb water through their skin as well.
You know, and that's interesting because around here we have frogs. People say, where do they go in the winter? We know that, you know, they can burrow down and make it through the winter and still absorb enough through their skin.
Yep, all of your local frogs are still in the area. They've just gone underground.
All right, now tell us how they get their name.
Yeah.
They got the name ornate horned frog. You can see it looks like they almost have these little horns on their eyes. Now, they're not true horns. There's no bony structure behind them. They're just ornamental. Scientists think it probably is to help them blend in.
Oh, okay.
Looks like leaf litter adds a little bit more, breaks up their silhouette.
Okay.
Now, I see this guy has some other adaptations. We talked about his coloration for the type of predator he is. Maybe you talk a little bit about that mouth. Yeah.
Enormous mouth. They're almost 50% mouth. They're kind of like a stomach, a mouth, and that's it. And that's another adaptation for being an ambush predator. They will eat anything that can fit in their mouth. So they sit, they wait, they grab something, they crush it with these incredibly powerful jaws, either break its back or suffocate it.
Oh, very good. Now, they don't have any teeth like we would think of. They just have very short teeth, right?
They have very short teeth. The teeth are not very impressive. It's not the teeth that are doing the damage. It's just the pressure from that bite. This animal is like a rat trap.
Wow.
Now, go ahead.
Do they have any predators?
There are animals that will still go after this animal if they can find it.
Wow.
But this animal is very tenacious and very fearless. It will attack animals much larger than itself, including dogs or humans. I have to watch when I go in the case because she'll try to come after me.
Wow.
Are they territorial? Is that
Yes, they don't really care to be around other frogs. They are cannibals as well. So if we had one in with a cage with another one, they might try to eat each other.
Oh. Wow.
So we do have two on display, but they are separated.
They're separated. They don't play nice with others.
They don't play well.
Now, does this frog, like some frogs, use its eyes to help it swallow?
It does. When it swallows, it'll suck its eyes into its head.
Wow.
It doesn't have any kind of bony palate separating the eyes from the inside of the mouth.
Yeah, it actually helps it to swallow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's warm-blooded. So the fact that you're holding it, does that impact it at all?
As a cold-blooded animal, yes, the fact that I hold it does impact its body temperature. That's why I don't usually handle these animals for a long period of time, because as I hold her, I'm slowly warming her body up. But for short amounts of time like this, it's not harmful.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, tell us a little bit about amphibians, because frog is just one kind of amphibians. How many types of amphibians do we have?
I can take care of that, I think. I mean, I'm a paleontologist, so I approach this a little differently.
Yeah, that's great.
But actually, there's about 3 major groups of amphibians alive today. There were a lot more in the past. And the ones we're most familiar with are, of course, the frogs, and toads are a type of frog. And the other things we always think about are salamanders and newts. And there's another group called caecilians, and those are limbless amphibians, and nobody generally sees those at all.
Okay.
But as far as amphibians go, again, I'm interested in the fossil record of them. And if you look at that, you realize that the transition to land is a very important stage in the development or evolution of life on land. Invertebrates first came on land. They evolved out of fish about 400 million years ago, and they actually have amphibian trackways in Poland.
So what are the oldest fossil records of frogs?
The oldest fossil record of frog is about 200 million years ago, at the beginning of the
200 million,
Jurassic.
wow.
So if you think about the rise of things like Stegosaurus and Allosaurus and things like that, frogs were coming along at the same time. But it's about half the history of the life of amphibians on Earth. 200 million years to get from 400 million to 200, and then 200 to the present.
Right.
It's quite remarkable, but half the existence of amphibians on Earth has not been frogs.
Yeah. It's very cool. Now, so we have frogs, and they're very well distinguished from the other groups. Let's talk a little bit about this between frogs and salamanders.
Right. Well, I mean, if you think about it, when you're out in the field and you're looking at these things, the first thing you notice is they don't have tails. That's a very distinct, that's a characteristic. The other thing is the hind limbs are exceptionally larger than the forelimbs. And frogs use those for leaping around and doing things like that. At least they do now. They didn't originally. And the other thing is their skull. Their skull is quite unique as far as amphibians are concerned. As far as you look at the shape of the bones and the openings in the skull, and this ability to open and gape like that, just to swallow prey is quite interesting. Frogs, for what it's worth, they don't really have teeth as such. I mean, they do when they're, before they metamorphose from the larval state to adults. But anyway, there's a lot of little differences that distinguish them from salamanders.
Very
Cool. Well, how long will people be able to go to the Rochester Science Museum to see your frog
Well, that's a great question. No, the frogs, of course, the colors is open till the 10th of April. And it's a great experience for the family to go and look at the diversity of frogs that are alive today. It's amazing, all the shapes and colors and sizes. It's a remarkable exhibit.
There he is. Well, hopefully people will get to enjoy it, and we want to thank you for bringing. I didn't catch his name, but her name for bringing her on. Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
If you want to know more about this animal and others like it, go to our website, homeworkhotline.org, and click on videos. Now stay right there. We'll be back in a second.